Good morning. Welcome back to the Red Mic. Happy Wednesday. Glad you're here. These Red Mic messages are leadership and life lessons I picked up from 25 years as a public servant, 16 years as a youth football coach and scouting volunteer, and 10 years as a mediocre athlete with far more heart than actual physical ability. Today's Red Mic message: whistles and whiteboards. Things that a first time coach has in common with a first time manager. Both roles come with uh, a new title, and let's face it, there's not much of an instruction manual. Um, Suddenly, in both cases, you're responsible for shaping someone's experience on the field, in the job. You are expected to teach, motivate, correct, encourage. Oh, yeah, the trains still have to run on time. Most days, you're going to feel like you're just making it up as you go along. And that's okay because you don't have to be perfect. You just have to be intentional. Tom Hanks, saw a video of him where early in his career he had a director, and the director basically said, you just have to show up on time, you have to know your material, and you have to have an idea. That's it in a nutshell. And that applies so many different places. Show up on time, know the material, and have an idea. First time coaches, first time managers, they've got the same mission. You've got to create an environment where people feel safe, supported, willing to do the job, willing to take the risk, and challenged enough to push against the things that make them feel uncomfortable, maybe. Because without that, they're not going to grow. You got to build the relationships. You got to know your team. You got to know their names. You got to know what makes them tick. Look them in the eye when you talk to them. Be the kind of leader that notices when they're off and you can ask them if everything's okay. So, again, have a plan. Know why you're leading. Set expectations early. Don't keep your goals to yourself. Um, that way, everybody sort of has an idea. They know the direction. They know what your plan is. So they're all going to be pushing or pulling in the same direction. You've got to be prepared before practice. You've got to be prepared before meetings. Keep things moving. No one wants to stand around and listen to you yammer on forever. um, Give people one or two things to focus on. Celebrate the wins, even the little ones. Um, Correct with kindness. Uh, Jimmy Johnson had a technique. I call it the correction donut, where he would say something good. Imagine a donut, right? Here's the good stuff. Here's the good stuff all the way around. Then you got that hole in the middle. The hole in the middle is the negative part, right? So he'd say something good. He'd do the negative part. In other words, this is what you got to fix. And then he'd ended up with something good. Like, hey, Johnson, you're really working hard out there. Love to see the effort. Next time, do XYZ. But again, love you, man. You're working hard. You're going to get it. Now, they hear that negative in the middle, but there's a reason there's nothing there. It's a negative space, right? You got to get back to the good stuff. So they're going to hear the negative, but they're going to focus on the good stuff. And the good stuff is going to be what inspires them to fix what's in the middle there. I've tried to do that in every leadership role I've had. So people are going to remember that. They're going to remember how you made them feel. So whether it's some sort of rah-rah or a shout out in a staff meeting or whatever it is, let people see that you're in it with them, and that, yeah, you're going to correct them, but you're going to congratulate the effort too. Um, Last but not least, it's going to be hard. Don't don't kick yourself. Don't be so hard on yourself when it does get hard, because it's going to be hard. It's supposed to be hard. The hard is what makes it great. Again, thank you, Tom Hanks. So just remember, growth happens in the gaps between who you are and who you're going to be. So focus on that. So whether you're holding a clipboard or a calendar invite, always remember the real wins aren't on the scoreboard or the spreadsheet. They are getting there. Because if there's not growth through that entire process, yeah, you might win, but if all you're doing is relying on the talent that you saw and you had when you walked in the door, then are you really a leader? Your job is to help make these people better than they were. Um, don't be just the coach who's a great recruiter, but then 4 years later, they're the same players they were. So make the experience for the people who have chosen to follow you worth their time. That's your whistle. Wear it well. And that's today's Red Mike message. I hope you found it interesting. I hope you found it helpful. Give me a like, a follow, and a share. I appreciate you being here. Uh, whether this is your first time here or whether you're a long-time listener, I appreciate it very much. I'll see you next time. And don't forget, life is short. Drink the bourbon. See you tomorrow.